Do we have sound now?
Try talking. Try saying something. Oh, okay, wait.
Hello. Okay, everyone. Hello. Make some noise. Let's hear some noise in the chat. I want to see what energy we have today.
Okay, yeah, hello everyone. Sorry for the error. I think OBS had some issues when we started the stream, but it should be all good right now.
Yes. Okay, Aquarians. It's amazing to see you guys after it's been about a month and 2 weeks. I'm so sorry we've gone so many weeks without like a proper AMA. But, this last month has been hectic. But hey, it's all been worth it. And, I'll wait. I'll save my excitement for later in the presentation, as usual. But I just love to see you all here, and I'm glad to see that our 1 year anniversary has passed, and we're still here, chugging along strong, working towards our goal of building this unique organization that the world is just waiting to hear about. So okay, I think we should dive into it. I think you're ready, Mache. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Like I told you, I'm suffering to the mild health issues right now. So yeah, but yeah, I'm very excited for what's to come and for the direction we're going to be taking on right now with new upcoming possibilities.
Yes. So we're going to make this one a quick one for you all. They will get longer progressively as we go. We're just starting this one because of the recent developments in the past week. But now that we know how much, I'm speaking ahead of myself. Let's just get started to the presentation. So next slide.
Okay, let me open up to the slides.
What? Oh, okay. Sorry, I have PTSD with the technical difficulties. That something went wrong.
Oh, 1 second.
Okay.
I'm going to fix the chat because every time we start the new stream, I have to refresh all the links. It's as simple as that, but I didn't do it on the Discord. I mean desktop view.
No worries.
Yes, AMA Aquari style indeed.
It wouldn't be Aquari style if there wasn't something wrong. Okay, I'm ready to go. Oh, you're fixing it.
We are. Let me.
Okay.
Yeah, let me switch to the first slide with the content.
It can, but we need to see it so we can answer your questions. So wait, so we're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you were still moving the chat. Okay.
No.
So yes, everyone. So as we're here today, we're here because we're giving this is the Aquari Revelation Hackathon check-in. So next slide. Okay, guys. So do you know this is from the Aquari Twitter account? Do you notice anything special about this image? Can anyone point it out? Come on, I know you guys have good eyes. No one can see it? Okay, then I'll just point out myself. Next slide. BNB chain follows us, everyone. They follow us now. Binance is officially aware that we exist. So that deserves a round of applause, must I say. So let's get to bring some energy. I wish I had a crowd, I'm much more of a in-person public speaker. You know what I mean? I need that audience feedback, but it's okay. I tried. I tried. So yes, everyone, this goes to show that in 1 year, we've gone from a little project in the corner of BSC to a project that Binance executives are actually aware of. So next slide. That's a huge accomplishment in of itself. I'm just letting you guys know because most of the battle, to be quite honest, is just being known. And this is really good because in bear markets, we don't have to cut through all the noise, as long as you're actually, the bear market is like if this is a vulgar analogy, but it's like, it's like using a toilet, you need to flush sometimes. You need that market correction. If the flush doesn't happen, I don't think you want to use that toilet. And since all of the competition and I would say projects that really don't add value have been flushed out, it's really easy to cut through the noise by just existing and doing work and building. And so, I want to give a round of applause for this community for having the perseverance to actually hold through all of this. Because I know it's really been a long year, and I know we're in the era of instant gratification and whatnot. But I'm letting you guys know that literally, if it wasn't for this community, we would not be where we are today. It's literally the moment as long as this community has the conviction and the belief that we can succeed. Although Mache and I have to do our part, the community has to do their part by staying and holding the line, like a Roman legion. And as we do that, I'm telling you, in Web3 to succeed, yes, you do have to build and add the value. But if you stay around long enough, all you need is that one shark to bite. So just a round of applause for you all.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. To all the people that voted, that's another thing. If the votes really made the difference, especially with all the cheating that happened, there was But it's good. I'm glad that Binance and the Dora Hacks team were able to properly point out and recognize the fake votes, and were able to slash them, and so the hackathon ended fairly.
I
So
mean,
to go into,
in the
oh, go ahead.
end, not all of the votes were slashed because their detection mechanism wasn't. I mean, either it was not sensitive enough, or it was too or whether the second guy system was too sensitive. But apparently, much more of those votes should be sliced. So. It's either one of those, but I believe that we ended up in the great position either way.
Either way, it's I'm just glad that the BNB chain team and Dora Hacks decided to support projects in their ecosystem, and whether or not the voting sensitivity was correct or not, crypto's the wild west right now, and it's just interesting to see, everyone's writing the rule book as we go. And I think that's what I love about this industry, is that there's just so many areas to add value. So, as everyone knows, we won the Binance Revelation Hackathon. We won their Blockchain for Good track. It was the one of 6 tracks in that hackathon. And the prize that Aquari was able to acquire was 93 BNB. And this is amazing because what this finally allows us to do is we can actually, in this dark, well, I don't want to say dark time, but during this market correction, where finances are always tight, this actually gives us the flexibility to continue building while we're in this correction without affecting any price movement. One of the biggest things that held this project back or slowed things down over the last year was the main fact that our tokenomics system, while sustainable, it needs to reach a certain amount of daily transaction volume for pretty much, financing to actually be at a sustainable rate without dropping the chart. But since we have yet to reach that critical mass, which is it's not even that much. It's only about $30,000 of transaction volume a day. If once we reach that, the tokenomic and the mathematics balance out to where this organization could be financed without any negative effects, negative price action on the chart. But since we're in that stage, this 93 BNB is great because in the past we always had to sit idle and pretty much not do nothing, but try to reduce spending and the rate at which we move forward when the market's in a contraction period. And then when the bull comes, then we start building and spending to actually help add value to the project. This winning this hackathon pretty much has gotten us out of that cycle to where now we can actually build at a consistent rate and actually get and attract new holders without having to reinvest that holders' money to keep everything going. So this is really good. The way Mache and I and the rest of the Aquari team see this is that this financing will bridge us until we are able to close our seed round. So basically, Aquari is financed for the next few months up until we close. Obviously, we plan on closing way before, like a few months, but just to know we're in that safe space right now. So that's all thanks to you, community. Thank you to everyone who voted. Seriously, it literally altered the course of the future. The potential seed from Binance, as people know, in the Revelation Hackathon, they said they were giving out around $10 million to potential projects and seed financing. In our talks with the Binance, the BNB team, they said that those prize distributions are still under works, and so they will get back to us, and Dora Hacks will announce the winners of that in the coming days. So that's something to look forward to. Aquari has also been invited and encouraged to participate in Binance's Most Valuable Builder program. And the Most Valuable Builder program is run by Binance Labs. And what that is that's Binance's incubation and venture capital arm. So when Binance wants to do direct investment in projects, or if they see potential in a project that they want to accelerate and mature, they run projects through the MVB program. And the thing with the MVB program is there's only about 8 projects that go through it every quarter, I believe. And what ends up happening is those projects are highly vetted by Binance, and these are the projects that they believe can bring long-term value to the BNB chain. And while it's not a guarantee, the projects that are successful that go through the MVB program, they actually are eligible for listing on Binance itself. Could you click on that link real quick, please, Mache?
Just redirecting.
Yeah. And so just to answer a quick question, I think Marino said, what are the plans to do with the BNB? The team is still in decision. We're just debating on if we want to play it risky and keep it as BNB, or play it safe and go to B list. Currently discussions we're thinking 50-50 or maybe all. We'll look and see how the market is going because we're at this crossroads right now. And yes, Dennis, the 10 million is divided to projects in the next few days. That's as far as we know, that's what Binance has told us. And so, yeah, so when we push this presentation and the meeting notes from this AMA onto our Medium, you'll be able to click on these links and read them more in detail in the MVB program. But yeah, so this is MVB 5, and Aquari is going to apply to this one. So yes. Back to the presentation, please.
We're back.
Okay, perfect. As you can see in those images, on BNB Chain's Twitter, they quoted me during my interview, and yes, they announced this on Twitter. So this is good. We're getting more exposure. Okay, so next slide. Okay, and a week ago or 2 ago, I'm so sorry that the time just keeps flying. A man in our Discord actually came and invited us to a Web3 summit. And the thing is, this summit was not originally on the Aquari team's radar. It took place in San Diego. But after hearing about it from someone reaching out to us in our Discord, we actually decided, hey, it's a 2 hour drive for me. I might as well go down and spread the Aquari gospel. And so this was a very last minute entry. We entered into the Impactathon last minute. So the WAGMA stands for We're All Gonna Make a Summit. And this is a group of people who are Silicon Valley tech executives or people in highly influential positions that are actually generating the majority of value in whatever firm they're in. For example, you have some people from Silicon Valley Bank and a lot of VCs and whatnot. And what ends up happening, people working in machine learning and blockchain, Department of Defense, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, high profile individuals who are already, in a later stage of their career. We're talking individuals who are, in late 40s to 60s, who are already in an executive position, but they know that Web3 is the future and they want to gain exposure to this asset class and industry so that, as Web3 matures, their current existing organizations won't be too disrupted or left behind when the revolution finally kicks off. And so they wanted to create a space where they could all convene, and instead of going to Web3 conventions where there's a bunch of speculation, hype, a lot of noise, for a sophisticated individuals themselves, they want to actually create an area where they can objectively look at the fundamentals of where the technology is for this day and where to allocate capital and whatnot. So they create a summit for themselves, and they are trying to translate. They see themselves as the bridge between, say, as a translator to translate how we speak in the Web3 world and the language we use, and translate that into a language that individuals in traditional finance and the enterprise world can understand. Because this industry is a bit of a candy land, but as it matures, like anything, there will be like a due process that comes. Yeah, just like 20 years ago, tech was a candy land, internet was a candy land, and now we have the corporatization of everything. So we showed up. They had an Impactathon where they basically wanted to invite various projects that were in the impact space in Web3, and they would give awards to the winner. And so we showed up. There's me giving the presentation. You can see me just, the resolution's a bit low. But yes, we ended up winning this event, and you can actually... Yeah, nice. Yes, there I am. So yes, we ended up winning this event. I told them all about Aquari and our overarching goal to turn environmental conservation into an actual industry where individuals can earn a yield on their investment rather than just running off of philanthropy, and to create a decentralized organization that's owned and collectively governed. They loved the idea, and they gave us first place. And on the right was one of the dinners that happened. It took place at the Fairmont Grand Del Mar. Our tickets were actually free since we were actually competing in the Impactathon. But yes, it was a really beautiful campus that the hotel that they hosted this event at. Definitely wouldn't have been able to afford to go on my own. The tickets were about $1,500 for the enterprise people to just show up. So it was really good that we had this opportunity to participate in the Impactathon. But we won, and the prize is basically there is this organization called Pledge that I will discover the specific amount, but there is a donation that has been issued. And there are a lot of VCs there that I was able to network with that I've actually set up time to meet with. So that was an amazing opportunity. And as a reward, most of the people from the organization are on the East Coast. And so there's actually a conference in the fall that's upcoming. I believe it's in August, where I'll be able to speak in front of 500 corporate executives and spread the Aquari gospel even further. So this was a smaller proxy event, but the bigger events will have bigger prizes and direct networking opportunities. So that's what happened here. This was just a side quest. Next slide. And yes, I would like to say that it's been a long time since we've had our last Aquari cleanup and meetup. And so once again, the Aquari community, the Aquari Army, as we like to call it, has decided to mobilize again and is planning the next meetup and cleanup within the Netherlands. I really love this because, at the end of the day, right now the project is run decentralized because we need to get everything running. But I love the fact that this community is full of self-starters. And the community has decided to take it upon themselves to organize and self-coordinate to start another cleanup and meetup. And so this is really good because a community that knows each other in person, honestly, and we form personal connections is one that stays together. And this is, I'm telling you, for that Impactathon, part of the reason why we won was they saw how strong our community actually was. I'm serious, guys. We have to keep this culture because if we keep the culture, it will literally take us to victory. So the expected dates that we're planning on, it's being coordinated by our lovely community members. There will be a chat that we after this AMA, and actually in the AMA brief notes, I'll put a link to the Telegram chat where this cleanup is being coordinated. We'd like to see everyone come out. The expected dates are July 23rd and 24th. And I'm so sorry. I believe I forget how to say the name of the city. I believe I'm going to just say Twente. I have no idea. But that's the city in the Netherlands where it will be taking place. And there will be a cleanup on Saturday. Afterwards, time for drinks as usual, barbecue and socialization, and there will be space for camping. It'll be a whole aquarium retreat where we can, sit down and plan for the future and actually get to know each other on a one-to-one basis. Because this is a DAO, but hey, we all need to learn about each other so that we can work and add value together. So on Sunday, we'll have a nice program as well. And there will be paintball where we can shoot at our lovely Fabian's bald head. I think balance needs to be restored for all the fun in the beginning. Fabian, if you're watching, we love you. We love you. So yes, please, it will be it'll be amazing. And then, if you guys want to take out a personal vendetta against Mache and I, if we're able to close the financing if the financial situation is looking good by that date, we'll fly out. If the financial situation is looking a bit tight before we close the round, then I might not be able to come because it literally costs about $1,000 to ship me across the globe. So that's to be determined. But right now, we are planning on showing up. But if you want to take out a personal vendetta on Mache and I, yes, this will be the time to take it. If you want to say, hey, you've been taking a whole year to move forward, speed it up. If you want to give us a little push, you can bring the good old paintball gun out and, go American Sniper. So yes, next slide. The Aquari t-shirts have arrived in India. So this is amazing. And this was the first batch just for Malhar's core team. In the coming weeks, we will have shirts for all the participants. So what will start to happen is you will actually see the dual branded, and every post by Beach Please, since they're all wearing it, you will see the dual branded Aquarium Beach Please shirts. So this is something that is to come. The cleanups are happening on the regular, and we'll actually. Sorry, I just saw the chat shoot to earn. I love that. But yes, Malhar is doing great. So a fun fact about Malhar is on the 8th of this month. From what he told me about a week ago, I'll have to reconfirm. But on the 8th of this month, there is going to be an event where Malhar is working with the local government. I forget the occasion, but there's going to be a cleanup with about, I believe, 500 people showing up. So it's going to be big. There'll be Aquari branding, and we're working on getting a dual collaboration with that. But it depends, because if the government approves, then we can do that. If not, then no, because the government has their name, and then they're like, okay, if we're going to be showcasing another organization's logo that we're not aware of, you know what I mean, and that the government's working, we don't know. So it's 50-50 that's happening. But regardless, Malhar will do the best to showcase that. And that's the government of Maharashtra. So we'll be posting videos from that coming up soon. Next slide. So where do we go from here? This is pretty much it. So like I said, we want to keep this AMA a bit shorter. This is not the full details, because we figured out what amount of financing we had as of yesterday when we won. So the team is still looking at how to allocate this capital for the next coming months, and then we'll be able to provide the exact detailed plan. But to give a general overview, we're still in the fundraising process, but our hackathon win, like I said earlier, will allow us to resume activity without affecting the chart. So we've been in hibernation because, no one likes the chart going down. Everyone likes this momentum going up, and just to say, we'll be able to keep this momentum that you're seeing, these green days that you're seeing going up. So every addition to the pool will count. Right now, we're in talks with various accelerator programs, such as the New Chip Accelerator and Binance MVP. And if accepted, these two programs will prepare our team and project to scale into a matured blockchain company. And bear markets are the best time to build. Mache, can you please click on the New Chip link real quick, just so we can just show them their website real quick. So what's interesting about New Chip right now, New Chip is a accelerator. But what's interesting about them is if you scroll down a little bit, Mache, you'll see that if you're accepted into the program, that they actually do leverage their investor network, and you get a check written. So it's not just like, for example, with Launch House, there wasn't a guarantee of anything. Their guarantee is that you will be able to come out with funding. So they'll train you. It's like I would say it would be about a 90-day program. They would, basically instill in us the skills needed to be able to raise money and whatnot. And they themselves write out a check allocation. So this is good. So either we're applying for, right now we're interviewing, but if we're accepted, we'll be placed either into the pre-seed accelerator or the seed accelerator. So keep an eye out on that. Back to the presentation. We found out about this because there were some venture analysts from New Chip that actually discovered us and actually reached out to us. And so it's really interesting. Like I said, our platform is increasing and we're becoming more and more known. So this is great. Since the hackathon prize was 93 BNB, it is quite it is quite a bit of money, but it's not enough money to hire, a full-time dev at a reasonable rate. So we're going to, as continue with the remaining schedule of scheduling everything for when we raise with our Aquavote D app, because it's better to use these finances to actually sustain the organization and bridge us to financing. And so in the worst case, like we don't have to touch that chart, and we can keep spreading the word, doing these activities, and as new people become interested in us, that chart does not have any downturns. And our new website's coming soon. So our community member, Anna Lush, she's doing an amazing job. And I'll actually be working with her to roll out a new website because at this given stage, with all the accolades we've gotten and the maturation of our go-to-market strategy, we need to actually showcase all of this on the website. So this is good. We're starting to dialify the process and distribute tasks to the rest of the community. So next slide. Any questions, basically? Maurice, how are follow-ups going from the Dubai trip? Follow-ups are going well. So most of the VCs that we found from Dubai they're interested in the round, but they're not. When you raise a round, you have to have a lead investor. And so what you want is you want an institutional investor that has grown startups from 0 to 1 before. They have the additional connections to be able to actually add value, you know what I mean, to your fundraising process. So the VCs that we found in Dubai, they definitely would add in checks into the round as secondary investors, but they're not the lead. And to start a round, you need a lead. And we could have a Dubai VC be the lead investor, but the thing is that them the lead. It's your lead investor is like your. How would you say, Mache? How would you explain it?
Mm, I
My
don't
English
really.
is.
Yeah, I was currently reading the messages and replying to them as you were speaking, so I wasn't like focusing fully on.
Ex- Explain to them like the difference between like a lead investor and like secondary investors who are just smaller and just would rather check. Like why would we want an institutional investor to be our lead investor versus just a regular smaller family VC?
Mostly because of the lead investor is going to lead our seed round and is going to guide us through the entire process and help us to move with everything as effective as possible. They're going to help us go through other VCs and with evaluation and everything else, and basically they are going to be like big daddy, guiding us through entire process and helping us on the way through. And regular investors simply try to evaluate your company, and based on that, if they have enough trust in what's going to happen, whether you're going to be successful or not, they simply write you a check and take part of the shares or equity or cryptocurrency or whatever else, and then they are going to be like checking up on you on periodically and trying to make you follow on the assumptions and the plan that were made beforehand.
Yes, exactly. And one of the major things is that post seed check. Once you raise your Series A, that's your first full equity round where you bring in all the lawyers, you fully incorporate into C corp, and you appoint your board. Usually, your lead investor will appoint someone from their team onto your board. And the thing is if our first board member, you want someone that's fully vision aligned with where we want to take the company, and someone that can actually add value as the company matures into future, Series B and C rounds, and everything becomes more institutionalized. So, yes. And LB, yes, we don't have an office. I know that was way back. Yeah, we don't have that because we were about to pull the trigger, but when the market corrected, we were like, this is a liability. There's no point in having an office, at least until scale a bit larger. And yes, Dennis, you did see the claw. Yes, that's my signature move. Need to work on that a little bit more. But yes, that is it. And it's an update to the website, Marino. No, it's not. It's not a completely new one. It's I would say it's a reformatting and more mature depiction of information, because our current website, it's sufficient for a token, right? But it's not sufficient for a company. And we're going to include, if any of you guys have heard of Gitbook, GIT, like GitHub, there's Gitbook, which is basically allows you to create encyclopedias for various, whatever your project is and whatnot. And so right now I'm actually working on the Aquari Gitbook right now, and that'll be embedded within the new website so that there's the website. You can see what Aquari is, from like a website corporate perspective. But if you want to dive deeper into the protocol design, everything that we talk about in these AMAs and that everyone here knows passively over the last year, someone could just dive into the Git book and catch themselves up from day one to now. And yes, Mache, I can see the. So yes. It's my mind control. I have to do the hand symbols. That's how I captivate the audience. But yes. So yes, any questions? Yes, that's literally it. Is that we have people interested, but the thing is, it's better to have a more. I hate to use this language, but just a more sophisticated investor to lead the round. Because I don't know if any of you guys have watched the show Silicon Valley. If you want to know what Mache and I and this Aquari team are going to go watch Silicon Valley. Like that just goes to show like how tech startups actually evolve. It is great satire. Seriously. So if you want to dive into our world and see like what happens beyond like behind the scenes and what we have to do every day. Like if you just want to know what Mache and Cameron have to go through every day, in detail. Like if you're like, I wonder what they're doing, go Valley. Like if you watch the first 3 seasons, like yes, that's what we have to do. Like that is literally what our day looks like. So, and I'm sure you'll be able to relate too because there have been certain situations that happen in that show that happened to this project. So we'll watch the show and you'll see what stage we're at. Yes, Anna Luge, where do you think Aquari stands in a year? So, in a year's time, right? So the thing is obviously we want to close the round before that. So the thing is once you accept venture backing, I know we've been running at this pace, right? But that's because we've been trying to balance action with survival. If you do too much action and you run out of money, then okay, that's game over. You lost the game. It's Aquari's no more. But then if you do too little action and conserve cash, you might have cash, but it's like okay, you didn't. You know what I mean? People won't be interested because it's like, what have you done? Macho and I have been trying to balance. Okay, every few months we at least try to develop the project to have something new happen to bring more legitimacy and maturation to where we're going, while also trying to hold back and not move at 100% speed because we don't want to run out of cash. Because if we run out of cash, it's over. And so the thing is once you finally bring in venture backing into the mix, okay, it's like, hey man, we gave you $1 to $2 million. We expect you to go full speed. Like just full speed, you know what I mean? Like a fully operational company. You have 18 months of runway, generate as much value. The narrative goes from instead of just trying to survive, it's more grow as fast as possible to raise that valuation so that we can do the next round. Because the VC, it changed right now. Aquari has to run in this, since we're self-financing, we have to run in this, small business mindset of, but preserve our savings and capital inflows. But the thing is, once you start to accept VC funding, it's now about, instead of, have a good balance sheet and balance everything, it's more growth at all costs so that your perceived valuation is higher, so that new people can perceive in the round, so that we can raise the company valuation. Because from a VC perspective, they don't care about, revenue's good in terms of health of the company, but how VCs get their primary incentive and payout is based on how much we are valued. And so there's an optimization from good unit economics to more so do whatever it takes to raise the value as soon as possible. And this is also primarily why we want an institutional investor, because from an institution, it's that mentality, but their time horizons, 5 to 8 years. And 5 to 8 years in Web3 is, that's called sustainable growth in this industry. So whereas if we had a non-institutional investor leader around, then it's like, okay, it's you get kind of, it's not fully retail mindset, but it's that in between institution and retail mindset of, okay, grow that valuation. I want the quickest payout as possible. So this is in a year's time. I'll tell you this. In a year's time, I'll put it this way. In a year's time from when we close financing, right? So I can't say from when we close financing, which should be within the next few months. You should expect major growth, because once that money is in our hands, the VC, like how we have that fiduciary duty to you guys as investors, with VCs, it's a whole different game. So, you know what I mean? Like Mache said, that they're going to be the daddy figure that's, giving us the guide and the mentor, but also the discipline to grow as fast as possible. So, yes. And yes, once the money has raised, so here's the thing: is that money is to scale. So the moment that the money is raised, they're paying for us to build the MVP and to actually scale. So once you see that money drop, Mache and I's first duty is to go hire a lead developer that actually shares our vision and is in it for the long term. And they'll be cranking out and working on Aquavote and all the DApps that we've promised. And at that same time, we'll actually be able to funnel money into marketing and actually sustainably having a full-time staff to run this. Because at the end of the day, the only two full-time people are Mache and I right now, and everyone else is a volunteer force, incentivized by the token. The token can be pretty powerful, but the thing is we don't have super high valuation, so we also have to be, we can't just give away token like crazy. So it's this balancing act, But it's amazing. Like I said, the website is being worked on by our community members, and these cleanups are being incentivized. There's token rewards as well for that. So the deal is that we're in this transitory period where we want to now provide this infrastructure for the community to contribute. And I know for those of you guys that remember D-Work, I know we've been saying we work on it. It's like I said, fundraising has been taking time, but Victoria actually will be able to roll that out like shortly, and we'll have that job board. And anyone in the community, if they're like, I have the skills, I can do this task, complete it for some Aquari, they can submit. So that's like our primary focus is right now raise money, but also in the background work on DAOifying everything. So that way, Mache and I are not the only store of value. We've done a great job because give a shout out to Anna Lush. She's taken on the task of doing the site, and I know she'll do an amazing job. In proper Dutch fashion, she's just ready to work ahead. So it's actually on my end. Why you haven't seen a completely new website yet, but I'll be bringing on an amazing team member, Trisha Liu. She works in cybersecurity, and she'll be coming on to help actually the roles of community management that I've been focusing on. I will have her in to bridge that gap, so you guys will have the full attention with an Aquari team member that you usually had when I wasn't fundraising. So yes, that's where we are at right now. Any more questions? I'm so sorry. I still ramble as usual. I'm just super excited, I'm just super excited for these wins, All we do is win, win, win. Okay, I think that's it. Mache, do you have anything else to add?
No, I don't think so. I'm still recovering after yesterday and the health issues I've mentioned.
Yeah. Oh, I see Thomas's question. My bad. What's in it for NewChip and MVB themselves when Aquari takes part in their program? So MVB Is Binance run? Binance is not LB. We answered it. There's no office. We haven't had an office. We never got the office. Like we never bought it. We were about to buy it, but we never bought it because the market crashed right when we were about to buy it, and it would be a liability. So everything has always been remote from everyone's homes thus far. But Thomas, your question: what's for new chip and MVP? So MVP, that's a Binance program. That's by Binance Labs. Binance's perspective is they are competing against Ethereum and all the other layer one blockchains. And a blockchain only gets its value when projects are built on that blockchain that actually have a proper use case and bring capital into the ecosystem. You know, so the MVP program is to incubate projects that Binance sees the potential to fulfill that role. And when obviously, if Aquari scales and is popular and is onboarding new people into crypto, then those people end up using BSC or BNB chain. My bad, they rebranded the chain name. Then that benefits Binance because they're benefiting from all the transaction volume and the fact that people are holding BNB in order to actually participate in with Aquari. Regarding new chip,
obviously the fact that all the for example, our liquidity pool is based on BNB. So all the coins that are on BNB chain are going to be automatically keeping BNB and raising the value of BNB themselves.
Exactly. That is exactly correct. Because every buy to Aquari, to sell Aquari, you have to get BNB. So every buy in Aquari, all the value added in the Aquari eventually will trickle down to BNB in time. Will Binance list us? Binance does not list projects this early. So that's the thing is, Binance will only listing. The way it works is once a project is actually generating a lot of volume. So I'll tell you this, the day that Binance even considers listing us, when you see 500K to $1 million of transaction volume a day. Do you know what I mean? Once you see that, like that is when you're like, okay, I can smell a potential Binance listing imminent. And the thing is if we do the MVB program, right, and we're able to achieve those metrics, I mean, I can't say anything, but it is highly in Binance's favor that they list projects that fulfill those criteria. If you look at the link that we'll post after this AMA in the coming days, the debrief notes, you can click on the link. Binance will talk about their criteria for how they list projects that go to their MVB. They listed 30 projects in that article that went through MVP that they listed on Binance afterwards. So, yes. But I'll say this, is that we're one step close. Binance at least knows about us now. And if we go through the Binance MVB program, we're working with Binance team directly. You know what I mean? Like this is actual CZ appointed individuals who will be incubating us and running us. So that's good. And yes, Alpha Growth and the marketing company are still waiting on the sidelines. They'll be activated once we raise our venture capital funding. Because it does not make sense to give away equity. It looks very terrible you give away equity for marketing. NewChip does right. NewChip is an accelerator. They have an investor network, and they actually have a venture capital fund themselves. So they, like, remember how I said if you're accepted, they actually write a check? NewChip actually writes a check to us from their venture capital arm, and they help. Assuming we don't have anyone else leading the round, NewChip would lead the round, and what ended up happening, they would leverage out their investor network and they would fill in the round, if that makes sense. So NewChip would invest in us. But they wouldn't be if NewChip's investing, there's going to be other institutional investors investing. If there's no institutional investors investing, then we won't take the NewChip offer. So this is what we have. I would say I will have a more detailed AMA in the following next week, where once Masha and I have sorted out all the details. But as for now, Aquarians, please prepare for the meetup. Keep the 23rd and 24th of July free. We'll have more details as the date draws near, but we would really love to see you at that event because an Aquari conference is just going to be amazing. So we're out here fighting for y'all. We'll close this round and we'll keep winning. We just need your support. Okay, we're all in this together. Okay, I think we're good to wrap this up. Everyone needs to go to sleep.
Thank you guys for attending the AMA and hope you liked it. All the news we delivered today.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And if you guys need to ask me any questions, I'll be in the chat. I'll be looking at the chat for the next hour in Telegram. So yes, please just tag me and I'll answer.
Okay, so once again, thank you and have a nice day, guys.
Take care, everyone.